No Revival is a big fan of bulking and cutting, as am I. I've highlighted his channel in the past, which makes it kind of all the more sad and pathetic that he's calling me out. Little bit of a backstabbing type of vibe.
Actor of the Year, like always. Now just remember that never actually happened. Take away the screen, take away however you feel about any of these people. Pretend that this was a friend of yours in real life. And this guy was just lying to you right to your face. That's actually a good litmus test for anything, right? Take away the screen, take away roles that you're supposed to see them as, and pretend you're just talking to this person. What would you do if somebody was in front of you being like this, bro? Maybe you'd call them a little b****. Maybe you'd ask them why they're lying to you while they are actually ganging up on this other guy. Would you put up with this behavior from people in real life? Would you put up with the manipulations? Would you put up with all the cry bullying? And how about this, right? Basement Bodybuilding talking about how Revival blocked him. Basement Bodybuilding came over to my channel and couldn't even stand by his word. He collapsed a comment thread. He couldn't even stand by his community post here. He deleted it. Now we could say that he's seen the light and that he realized, like, hey, we're all kind of ganging up on this other guy and it's kind of a witch hunt. So believe he's a smart guy and he can remake that exact video with more content, dense information in a better way. Or he could move on to 20 other topics. Pull away from this to break the guard dog leash, you know, and run free. And that's the public perception, right? That's not a judgment. That's not anything. That is the public perception right now, is that he's kind of a guard dog for these guys. Otherwise, you know, we're back to that whole thing of fake morality. It's fake YouTube rules that we live by now, you know, where we're not going to block, we're not going to censor information until it's time to for our side, right? So it's like, come on, man, pick or choose. Select a couple of people here that like to rile people up, you know, like the GVS and the NH. They really like to try to get people into a frenzy. If you fell into that, then, you know, that's just unfortunate. To tag on to the front of the video here, that there is a visual component to this video. There are parts that you may want to look at the screen for further context, particularly when we get to the latter half where I drop a little bit of ancient lore. First of all, I would like to open this video by saying I am not omniscient. I am not a fortune teller. I am not a psychologist. I am not a master manipulator. I'm not the time wizard from Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, heck yeah, dude, he got me in the member berries. I'm more receptive to his message now. It's easy enough to read the tea leaves when these master tacticians use the same strategy again and again. It's predictive enough that these little towel boys will come running for their drippings of clout. So gather round another dumpster fire and receive your 8-time view count multiplier for speaking positively about our guy. Now, don't be tardy, because the prince is taking note of everybody who arrives late. You do want to collect your video shout out, do you not? One that came to his defense proclaimed that he was no better than you or I. Middle of the bell curve. Yet he is such a special fixture in our orbit. He's kind of the focal point of all of our existence. He is such a humble, graceful, down-to-earth man. It's in the middle name, after all. That's why he tells us he would never take ads or sponsors. This is a man that must be protected at all costs. You see an enemy, you must vanquish them. For he's a truly upright man. Aside from his little tricks. Every now and again, you gotta look out for his little tricks, but aside from that, he's just like you or I, but better.
Don't gaslight people. Did you know that Revival Fitness would respond to you? Now you might say, Jeff, this comment was a month ago. So did you know that there would be a situation with a trap bar deadlift in the future? Did you know that Revival Fitness would respond to you? Did you know that he would film his own video doing his own set? Would use even higher handles than you did? Did you know that he himself would try to gaslight his audience into saying that the handles were the same height? Yes. Always be 6 steps ahead of your opponent. I typically don't wear a belt, even if I am a bit weaker, because I want to target the spinal erectors, and thus it's a strong point of mine. Do I have elite glutes? No. Hamstrings? No. Adductors? No. Quads? No. Erectors? Maybe erectors. So out of those 5 muscle groups, which are primarily going to be moving in a trap bar deadlift, I only really have one of those, which is why I use my erectors fairly actively. It's a strong point, and my body uses that strong point.
If you cannot see your erectors in natural lighting and without being completely shredded, I would not say they are a strong point of your physique.
Well, why didn't you just post these at the very start, as these also prove your point? Well, Revival would never have taken the bait. So I expected Revival to take the bait. That was the whole point from the start. This was just a Thursday for me. This was just a working set, not even the first exercise. This was just normal. I didn't have that the internet called me weak, angsty type of hype.
Now make no mistake about it, GVS has been playing cross-country, high-altitude backgammon in the 6th dimension against you mortals. He has never once put up a weight-humping set to prove to everybody that he's a strong boy. Now, I don't even entirely care about that. I think it's good to let ego fuel you a little bit every now and again, but let's not pretend that it's solely the other party that participates in these kind of things. Again, credit to Revival Fitness on this one. He put his money where his mouth was. It was not apples to apples, but he did go in and he smashed that, and maybe that up his programming for the next month. Who knows what the consequences of ego can be. I've seen this play out on many levels here on YouTube. Sometimes it's actually pretty funny, sometimes it's actually tragic. So, you know, it's good to compete with the next man, but keep yourself safe, keep yourself focused on your own goals at the end of the day.
You mean we've gone back in time?
Yes.
And I didn't mention you in the original post. You didn't have to respond. I just knew you would.
Oh man, he brought out the Harry Potter time turner. Now, whether or not GVS knows this by employing that meme of his, you know, what's up fellow kids, another millennial meme here. That artifact actually serves as an allegory, though perhaps not in the way that GVS intended. For you see, the time turner can actually be seen as representing the ephemeral quality of the digital attention economy here on YouTube. Everybody has the attention span of a fly, and everything around them is moving around in rapid cycles of virality, scrutiny, and eventually obsolescence. Each move in GVS's 6-dimensional chess here mirrors the constrained turns afforded to the device in the canonical lore. Hence why he casts the bait. Hence why he has his henchmen go out and spearhead the charge. Call the banners, folks. The great GVS is in trouble once again. Now, is Revival Fitness a saint in all of this? Of course not. He took the bait. He got butthurt on the internet, which he tends to do. It's not a good look if you're an aspiring YouTuber, but I have to say I am not in his shoes within this ecosystem. An ecosystem in which one man makes a post and a swarm of gnats go from one audience to another antagonistically. And GVS at the end there, bringing salt to the wounds, mentioning, hey bro, I didn't even bring you up here. Of course, mirroring the exact series of events that had happened in the past before, where Revival Fitness made a video not mentioning GVS by name, and that was the first time he really sent his attack dogs after him. His guard dogs, his senile hounds, whatever you want to chalk it up to. And that's just among the other esteemed YouTubers in this sphere. We're not even talking about the attacks spearheaded by the audience that he uses as a personal army. Playing a game of who hit who first when the teacher's back is turned is quite funny, I do have to say here. As if GVS did not lose his mind along with his cohorts, imagining one of Revival's videos to be a veiled assault upon his own perceived natural status. It was all a figment of his imagination. And was Revival just laying the bait? Well, if you believe that, you might believe I'm in your walls right now. And let me tell you, when all of your authoritative figureheads are all in alignment, and that's the enemy of the day, the audience loves nothing more than a little bit of performative ostracism. We're well beyond the true and honest straw man here, folks. This campaign was based all upon a phantom. Keep that in the back of your mind here. I would consider that peak gaslighting. If you are in the audience here and you come down on either side, I would just ask that you remove yourself from this mess altogether. The only thing that we're learning here is that through these dynamics, there's a volatile interplay of ego, of identity, and of parasocial loyalty to each of the E-daddies. It's about heroes and villains. It's not about the rise and fall of X-influencer. But what I will say here is that if Revival Fitness is being framed as some gullible fool, some guy that took the bait, well, I would much rather choose Dostoevsky's Prince Mishkin than GVS's Prince Machiavelli. Shout out to Matt C and anybody else of 2021 era YouTube fitness. Now, with the time turner in mind here, folks, realize there are additional layers. It's as if history is attempting to be rewritten, and as such, a new narrative is being injected into the mix. GVS went from the victim of unprovoked aggression to the Machiavellian architect of retributive justice. Injections that GVS loves so much only carry so much juice as the audience will give it. Online spaces such as this are all postmodern. This is something that must be understood. It's a hyper reality. It is all fake. So continue at your own peril to hijack your own attention span with what gets clicks rather than what is true. Now, if you were to do a personal audit here, there's a good chance that a good many of you join this platform to become informed, to talk about concepts rather than people. Unfortunately now, some of you have found yourselves deep into an echo chamber where everything is about loyalty dynamics, moral panics. You may find yourself on the sidelines here, or perhaps even in the trenches of this factional warfare between two men that you do not know personally. And as the clock ticks, and as that initial narrative vector gets inverted, it does nothing but reinforce the pre-existing in-group cohesion among the disciples. Anyway, folks, my time is almost up here. I do just want to tag on that GVS had also mentioned how he's willing to call people out, be they friend or foe. So once again, when somebody says something silly, GVS is there to call it out, the people's champ. Let's see how he is with Hersoviak. He's also indicated that he's got an eye for lifts and that is something else he will call out. He posted Alpha Destiny, Alex Leonidas's 405 pause bench, where he's resting it on the safeties. We can also talk about Alpha Destiny's pull-up, which was an illegal grip, which was not from a dead hang and which did not clear the bar, and yet he's claiming it legitimately as a feat of strength. Alpha Destiny, one of your foremost experts on strength and size here, I think it's about time you call out your own. We should start questioning the experts in our field. Oh yeah, and whatever these noble natty guys are.
Is it a goal? No. So why is he stronger than me, though? Well, he has specialized...
Sorry, I might have said that he paused on the safeties here. He actually got a momentum bounce off of that. Look at the bounce off and then look when he begins to struggle on this rep. Now, while sleeved up there, he did have to fight for a couple inches of lockout. Granted, I cannot do that. This does speak to GVS's point about leverages here, but let's call things out as we see it. Anyway, I truly do have to wrap things up now. I'll see if I can leave you with a little bit of a blast from the past here.
And I don't like Revival Fitness at all, so it's very funny I'm on this side of things. I don't like the red pill, manosphere, black pill, whatever he's into. You know, that doesn't sell with me, but I think it doesn't sell with a lot of this audience too, which is why people aren't going over there to see the fact that the guy's not endlessly talking about these people. If you were only on this side of YouTube, you would be under the complete impression that this guy cannot stop talking about them. The one time he mentioned Geoffrey, it was in a very pointed way in a comment from months ago. And I respect his opinion. I respect what he said there. Not, you know, if we want to say, like, is there harm in maybe insinuating a guy's on gear if he isn't? Okay, maybe make that argument. Is Geoffrey maybe offended and he, you know, he doesn't want to fully admit that, like, hey, this actually is hurtful to me or something like that? Okay, then go there with it. But it's the part that I'm connecting it to here is like, we're moralizing things, right? We're talking about how, oh, this can lead the audience to have low expectations. As if words are that powerful, right? As if these mother behind a camera are really that power. Like, how delusional are people, bro? You people really think that this is the strength of their word? Oh, if we say the positive word, that's gonna change everybody's life. If we say the negative word, that's gonna turn the key in the lock of the brain of the nocebo, and these people are all gonna give up. It's like, no, man, people are largely predisposed to go in the direction they're gonna go in, and they're gonna choose their content creators based on that. Some people are optimistic, some people are pessimistic, some people strive towards realism. You know, it's all upon a spectrum, and it's all open for interpretation, and it's all people's just their opinions at the end of the day. The place that I respect Revival Fitness of all things, the one place I respect him, is that he spoke his mind in that comment section, just like, hey man, like, here's a what if. He floated a what if by the guy, like, yeah, maybe there is an incentive to be a fake natty. Now, again, if you want to have your opinion on, like, is it bad to even put that out there as an idea? Well then, yeah, maybe. maybe you just shouldn't even speculate on people, but I'm of the opinion, just think whatever you want or float it all by, break the parasocial bonds that a lot of these people have, break a lot of the gaslighting. And I'm not saying it's specific to any of these people, but just have it out there that yeah, man, someone behind a camera could lie to you and there could be incentives to this stuff. And again, I'm not saying it has anything to do with this group of people, but I think it's very important in this phony day and age where people just take things at face value and there's this whole cult of positivity and all this bullcrap going on. I think it's important that people have divergent opinions in that regard. If we're concerned about the cause and effect of, what this is going to lead an audience to, what about steering people towards these wannabe Nazi freaks, bro? Hersoviak, he wasn't just into some spicy memes, man. He was into some pretty f***ed up shit. And they were very personal opinions too. He stated some personal opinions out there. These were not just memes. He was talking to other people in the community, trying to paint me in a certain light instead of just owning what he was into. Hersoviak would go on to say that he was going to take legal action against me, that all these images, all these things I had were doctored. It was all falsified information. I was happy enough to point and laugh at these guys. I was happy enough to get a debate going with these guys. I think Tricepticons was like, let's get something going. But no, man, it got to the point where I was blocked. I couldn't reply to them. They were saying things about me in stories that I couldn't even see over Instagram. So what could I do but take to YouTube at that point? And I didn't know that there would be this whole network of people willing to cover up for them. People that get so outraged when a person does, they prescribe the wrong amount of bicep curls, or this guy has an opinion. This guy's pessimistic. Oh no, it's going to infect the minds of people. Like, come on, man. And I'm going to cut myself off ranting here. I just want to point to this, which is the only time that I'm aware of that he mentioned Geoffrey. Maybe I'm wrong here. I wouldn't doubt if more branched off from this since, because, there has been some back and forth of whatever. Maybe more in the comment sections, but as far as these videos go, they seem to be nothing burgers to me, man. They seem to be one man's opinion. And even this right here, again, I respect him for the way he put it out there. He's not trying to be politician-like. He's not trying to be these guys' ball washers or their guard dogs or anything like that. He's just one man with an opinion, and he had the hand extended to him in the great fight against Greg Doucette, right? And then he just went back to business as he does and just gives his opinion as he does, right? He didn't kiss the ring, bro. I think that's the real problem here. I have personal problems with some of these guys, I'll admit it. Bald Omni-Man stole from me. Personal problem there. He disrespected me. He tried to bully me. He acted like a real piece of shit towards me. Now, do I see other things wrong with the guy too? Like faking his measurements? Like claiming things like a 425 plus bench when he's only ever put 370 up on camera? The ignorance to say that to Alex Leonidas after he just hit a 4-plate bench, just to completely diminish him, like, yeah, bro, I can do that plus one, Like, come on, man. I've seen Beyond the Mask, and I'm here to say, like, there's problems with some of these people, bro. If people would open their eyes to who they are and what they do and the amount of lies and deception and the hamster wheels that they put people on with new exercises of the week and all this horse shit, where it's like, man, all of you would be so much better off if you just unplugged and went to the gym, man. Just get a friend group that actually goes to the gym, theorize amongst each other, talk programming, talk your training, get something going. You'd be much better off, bro. Much better off. I've got a lot to say on a lot of things, and I like to do it off the cuff. I am in a time crunch here, but I happened to refresh YouTube, and I saw your comment there. And so I do want to slow the pace down a bit, just to say thank you. I do appreciate that. You're not a fan though, bro. You're just a guy watching another guy work out, and I'm only, putting my workouts up there just to show that I'm doing the damn thing. I like to be transparent about my exercises. If you ever want to talk, I don't know if you're on Instagram, anywhere like that. If you ever want to talk programming or anything like that, I'm always there to talk with people, man. I'm not really about that on YouTube. I'd rather just have like real conversations. As far as the hobbies and stuff like that are concerned, man, like they do all get infected by ideology to a degree. Definitely not limited to, all kinds of things, and then counter ideologies to those, and then it's like, what's the canary in the coal mine, and what's just being Chicken Little about things, and it's so I understand all of that, and I appreciate your insight into seeing things in terms of the patterns and stuff like that, because this stuff really does poison just every hobby, man. But to me, This was more about a very specific group of people, you know. I think that Curly Necks actually made the broader, the more, you could call it noble message, you know, in that he wanted to tackle it on a larger scale. To me, I was like, I just had a very intimate situation with these people that I crossed paths with that were lying about me, that were pushing it to a point where, like, you know, I just wanted to be like, hey bro, let's talk about your alt history facts, you know, like, was it only Jewish people that owned, or, you know, was the Holocaust a lie because, you know, something about the amount of smokestacks at a camp, or you know, man, it's brain dead, the kind of shit that these people consume, or, you know, with Davin May home, should we take a to a gay pride rally? Like, is that a cool idea, bro? Do you actually think that? Or, you know, her Soviak, should we really just go up to a person and put a gun in the face, you know? Anyway, man, is it jokes? Is this your kind of humor? I was going to entertain all of that, and the bad ideas, I was going to combat all of them. What I saw as bad ideas, I mean, who am I to be an authority? But I do think that for a, you know, cohesive society, there should be maybe a bare minimum of civility where, you know, we're not, and the whole hyper fixating on people too, you know, Hersoviak obviously had it with gay people and black people. It's like, really weird, man. It's like, if you just don't like a group of people, shouldn't you just put them out of your mind and go live your life? Like, why are you spending so much time behind a screen fixating on these people that you could just, you know, close your eyes, bro, and they disappear? Anyway, I feel like I'm leaving a lot of half-cooked thoughts here. A lot of, like, you know, I can expand upon this and return to that, and, you know, but I do have to fly right now, and I'm not going to put any more thought into this clip. I'd rather, you know, if anybody has comments for the comment section, or again, if anybody would like to talk elsewhere, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a person here using this website as a medium to archive my lifting. I'm just another person. I'm a random guy on the internet who can talk lifting, can maybe give advice, talk diet, talk mindset, whatever, man.
If you've made it this far, Matt C is for life.